which is, in the last year of my life has thrown me some serious hardships and curveballs, especially within the last couple of months. And I've had to come into a life of true servitude in many ways. And when you're in a position with friends or family where you now have to be a caregiver, and what you're willing to do could be very different than what your siblings may be willing to do, or what your friends may be willing to do. And in the last couple of months, I have really seen what you're talking about. Everybody reacts differently. It doesn't mean they're in less pain. It doesn't mean they don't love as much. It's just, we just experience things differently, and we have a different capacity. And I happen to have a capacity as horrifying as it's been, and I'm being totally transparent now, and as hard as it has been, where there's days I'm literally having to peel myself up off the floor. All right. But I have the capacity. That's just who I am. I have that capacity to hold that space. And then I have, people around me that can join me in that space to a certain degree, and then have to leave that space. And I'm learning not to get upset, not to judge it, because we all have that different level, right, of what we are capable of energetically holding in a particular moment. And I think that's what you're talking about, Rhea, but in the relationship aspect. But I'm learning that as a caregiver, and I think it connects, is what I'm saying.
Communication, it's in relationships, it's in parenting, it's in everything. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Love that, Anna, because that's really what I speak of often, is the capacity. That's really how I feel. I mean, you're giving those words to it. The capacity. I think that's.
But I think what Michael's saying and Adela's saying is that we have, as humans, we get, and I'm guilty of it all the time, we get really upset when someone else's capacity is not the same as our own. And you could sit there and be angry, because believe me, I've done it. All right, where you're mad and you're pissed, and then you're like, nobody does anything. Blah, blah, blah. And you say, and it's I have to do everything on my own. It's there. But at the end of the day, what helped me find peace and even gain the strength that I need every day to wake up and do what I need to do was to let go of that and say, I'm not going to expect the other people to be in that space. Whatever they're willing to give, I'm going to be extremely grateful for and honor it, because it's beautiful. And I know they're giving me their best. That's their best, right? And I'm going to just stay in this space. So, I'm being a little enlightened here by you guys, because I'm going, ooh, like I could use that same. I never thought to see that in a romantic relationship, like the same. And I think that's what we're talking about, is when Michael talks about expectations, what is the capacity of this person in this moment? And am I capable of meeting them where they are, right? Without being mad, without being frustrated. It's hard.
Without my judgments. Right. It is hard. Absolutely.
I used to say, you have to be patient with me right now.
She used to say, you're required to be patient.
I used to say it to him all the time. Stop. You are required to be all the time.
So I got to use that one later on her.
Yeah, God. It was like, I'm being thick, Adele. Adele, you are required to be patient.
But what's so interesting about this too, it's like, it's not just I did the work. I mean, there's always stuff that we've done, and realizations we've come to in the place, but this is a daily practice. With with everyone in our lives, and with everything that goes on around us too, because it's just, it's so present. We can see it in other people interacting in front of us, what's going on, unconsciously for them. So in some ways, like, it's a beautiful and amazing thing, but I feel like it's tough sometimes, because do you guys ever feel like you're alone not alone? You guys have each other, and I know that, and that's so significant, but do you feel like the majority of the people around you, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people still are very unconscious to these.
We'll
really
generalize and say
things.
yes.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
There's and not to be egotistical, but there's no one in our circle that's where we're at. There's nobody that I've met is where we're at in the depth of the energetic fields of relationships.
Because we worked our asses off.
There are people with very beautiful relationships. That's not what I'm saying. But in the place that we're at, it is a lonely place in a way. But with us, each of us being within ourselves, it is not lonely, but it appears to be lonely, if that makes sense.